What's up guys, it's Honcho here with an Escape from Tarkov guide, and in this one I'll be showing you the best and most common loot locations for your therapist fetch quests. So what we're talking about here is your Morphine, Salewas, gas analyzers, Gunpowder, Tushonkas, car batteries and spark plugs. These are all of the items that you need in terms of you need 32 Tushonkas, you need 5 Morphines, this, that and you. All of this can be done at Interchange, and this is great. There's a lot of spawns people know about, but there's also a lot of spawns people don't know about. For example, your car batteries, you can actually find them more than just the one place that people seem to think of. So the best thing about this would being at Interchange, and you can do this PMC during the day or during the night if you fancy something a bit quieter. Or you can even get these as a scav. As I say, there's plenty of locations for a lot of these items, and yeah, let's crack on in the video. So first, we'll crack on with Morphines and Salewas. And the first place we're going to go is Mantis. Probably one of the most recognisable stores here inside the actual mall itself. But yeah, have a good ratchet around. There's stuff scattered everywhere. There's med boxes, there's med bags. Have a really good search and rummage through them. And you know, there's sometimes you could be coming out with 2, 3, 4 Salewas and even a handful of Morphines just from Mantis itself. Or as I like to call it, Man-Tits, but that's a long story, I'll get into that at a later date. But yeah, have a good look around all the corners, look on the shelves, the tables. There's plenty to be found. And you know, end of the day, even if you don't need them for the quest anymore, they're still handy to have because it saves you having to buy them. From here we're going to push next door to Emacom, which is the locked medical building. For those that don't know, the key spawns inside the ambulance at the gas station at Customs. But yeah, another good spawn for Salewas and Morphines. And now to the final location that I like to look in. So directly opposite of Techlight is this little blue office building with some cabinets inside. On the cabinets, you've got a good chance of a Salewa or a Morphine spawn. I generally find that Morphines are more common here than the Salewas, but again, it's always worth a look to see what they've got. Okay, now that's done, let's check out where we can find some gas analyzers. Okay, so a good port of call is at the very front of Ollie. There's loads of metal racking that you can spawn on, so basically you just start at the front of the shop and work your way back, or vice versa. Sometimes it can be up on a shelf that you have to jump to have a look, but there's normally a very, very good chance of it spawning in here. I think back when I was doing this quest, I more or less got this done in one raid, just from coming to Ollie. But don't worry, if you don't find them at Ollie, there's still a few other places we can go and have a look. Okay, so right across from Ollie, we have a tech shop called Texo. On it, it's got like a bunch of shelving units in there, and you normally find 1 or 2 gas analyzers in here on quite a regular basis. On top of gas analyzers, you can find this is a really good spawn for stuff like graphics cards, G-phones, and PC components. This is quite a good little tech shop to pop in on a regular basis. And the last spawn that I am going to cover for the gas analyzers is directly up the escalators from Texo into this tech shop here, which is called Techlight. Again, very good for PC components, graphics cards. There's even a weapon spawn on those blankets right there, drills, and gas analyzers. So even if you're just broke and you need to make some rubles, those last 3 stores are a very good place to go and have a look. Okay, so that's gas analyzers covered. Now we're going to move on to spark plugs and car batteries. So one of the best spawns for car batteries is in the very back of Ollie, in the sort of like warehousey bit. There's a few of these like little cages. Batteries and spark plugs generally spawn either on the shelves or in the cage itself. Have a look around on some of the shelving as well for spark plugs, because they can be a little bit more scattered out. From there you kind of want to hang a left and you want to hook and follow this dark wall, because along here, a bit further along, again there's some more like heavy duty racking up against the wall, which also can spawn car batteries. You can get one here, and you can also get one a bit further down, which I'll try and quickly show. Not a lot of people seem to get these ones because it's in such a deep dark part of Ollie, and so I think people generally miss them. So there's another heavy duty racking set there. And yeah, so that's kind of the Ollie spawns covered. we're then going to move on from Ollie and we're going to head to the back of Goshan. So, once you've made your way to Goshan, there is a nice little spawn just at this backside here behind the big bonfire, if you want to call it. Again, this one doesn't seem to get looted as much as what I'm seeing. Sometimes you can find a bag spawn on those boxes, by the way. But yeah, just on this set of racking here on the left and on the right, you can normally find multiple car batteries and spark plugs. So it's always worth having a good check up and down the racking. And that covers batteries, but I'll show you one more place that you can find spark plugs. So on the same sort of stretch as Mantis, you know, the main middle section of it, the Interchange store, there is a store called The National. Now in here, there's a good filing cabinet spawn. It's a good spawn for red pliers, yellow pliers, screwdrivers, all those bits and pieces. But there's also a chance that it will spawn spark plugs, again, on the metal racking. Small WD-40s, that's another rare item that can be a bit of a stickler to find sometimes, so it's always nice to have a few other little places you can go to. On top of that, there is also the chance that spark plugs will spawn in tech shops. I have actually found spark plugs in TechLite and Texo before, so it's also worth keeping that in mind. So that's car batteries and spark plugs done. Now we are going to move on to the Tushonka. So this one is nice and easy, and there's normally loads of this. You just need to go into the back half of Goshan. All these metal rackings, you can have them both sides of the aisle. So I have found a lot of Tushonka by, you know, where there's that big fire, whatever you want to call it, by the excavators and stuff like that. There's a load of shelving down there. I found Tushonka there in the past. Literally, Goshan. Just Goshan. You don't need to go anywhere else. You can easily come out with 10 to 15 per raid. It is ridiculous. And now that's done. Let's get on to the sticky wicket, and that's the old gunpowders. So my main spawn that I used for finding gunpowders is actually in generic. That's the little shop with the BTR in it. There's a metal shelving unit sort of in the centre. It's quite easy to sort of stumble across. Now, I don't know how common this spawn is, but when I was doing my task, I found 2 or 3 for my gunpowders right here on this shelf. My friend Bogrel found most of his, and so did a few of my friends. So there is another gunpowder spawn on Interchange, and that is within the Kiba gun store. Now, yes, this requires you to have the 2 Kiba keys, but, you know, you might have a low-level friend, or you might have a high-level friend that's got them, and can let you in. Or, as you say, you can get it for your friend, and then you can pass it on to him as and when. Or, because we're getting that new rag fair thing, the online player-driven market, it could be a worthwhile item to be getting and then selling on to other players. I mean, if you get no luck for gunpowder on Interchange, personally, I'd probably still keep checking scav backpacks and the common gunpowder spawn on Shoreline, which is in the west wing, in that little hole in the wall, in the little janitor's closet, as I like to call it. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that you can find gunpowder on Interchange. It is just that little bit harder than most places, but I suppose it is kind of a rarish item to find. But yeah, that covers all of our items now. Now, I know that there are other spawns for bits and pieces like gas analyzers. You can actually find them in the little office behind IDEA. And there is a med spawn, there's a random ass med spawn in 2 tents in the car park underneath IDEA. But I felt like I would just cover the main common ones, even though there's some of them that I have touched on, a lot of people don't really know about or don't think to check at least. So that is all of that covered. I might be doing a few more guide videos in the future. As I say, I did touch on that I might be doing one for the whole rag fair thing when that comes out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, because you've no idea how much just that one little thing really helps a small content creator like myself. And, you know, don't forget to subscribe for more. Ring that fucking bell that YouTube are obsessing with if you want to get my updates on time. And yeah, I want to keep this under 10 minutes because I feel that's long enough. But yeah, thanks very much, guys, and I will catch you next time.